Today we're going shopping in the world's scariest market, but it won't be for fruits and vegetables. What you will watch may chill you out of the neighborhood market. Hundreds of millions of people in more than 100 countries around the world go to the market every day to shop for vegetables and fruits. This is an essential way of life for people to live. Especially societies that cannot cultivate their own crops have to go and buy from the market. We think we're in agreement here. But this market, whether you plant it or reap it, is very different from what you grow or what you cook in your pots. This is the Republic of Togo in the western part of the African continent. The vast majority of the country's 6 million inhabitants eat fruit and vegetables, just like you and me. In a country with an annual per capita income of $900, people's income level is actually not very good. 20% of the country's population believes in Islam, 29% Christianity, and 51% believe in local religion. That is, a population that counts for more than half the country's population maintains its local religious beliefs. The local religion includes a belief in naturalism. Why do you think the local religions in Togo need monkey heads? The most important of all local religions in the recent history of mankind has in fact arisen in Togo. Then in countries such as Benin, Nigeria, Burkina Faso, local religions became widespread and made significant contributions to the development of every regional culture and art. The local religion, or voodoo religion, was later transported to Haiti by the Togolese and Beninese slaves gathered by the Europeans, and in Haiti the religion of voodoo was made common. The form of belief of the voodoo religion, which many people in Togo still adhere to frequently, may scare you a little. Many people here remain devoted to native religion. Togolese use monkey heads in rituals. And they go and buy these monkey heads in the Akadesawa market. This is actually the creepiest marketplace in the world. Togolese authorities do not allow foreigners into this market. Many years ago, in this town, vacated by authorities in 1974, horrific landscapes were photographed by a photographer. One day, after the rituals performed with the voodoo religious faith, unusual events occurred. The Togolese authorities realized that when voodoo rituals were practiced, a cloud of curse was supposedly covering the whole town. The local authorities have asked the population to leave this town suddenly. There were many events such as electricity being cut off at once, human screams rising from cemeteries. Despite the fact that many years have passed, the Togolese police do not let anyone in here. Shoppers at this market in the capital of Togo in West Africa believe in black magic. People practice magic because of their religious beliefs. This market, established at the request of the public, also sells magic materials and herbs. You may lack medical supplies in Togo, but when you want to do magic, you can buy all the supplies completely from this market. From animal heads to wooden objects believed to be cursed, from voodoo dolls to strange tools, many different magic items are on sale at this market. The market's atmosphere is very disturbing, isn't it? We don't know how much you believe in magic, but according to 2003, Togo had 46.8% illiteracy. A large part of the country believes in magic. The encyclopedic meaning of magic is as follows: the magic, practices that suggest that people can influence the natural world, events, objects, people by supernatural, paranormal or mystical methods, and the cultural system created around them. Where do you think the Togolese use this magic? Anyway, let's keep visiting the market. In this market, you can obtain large ox skulls, dried heads of monkeys, buffalo and leopard feet and many other magical items. If you visit Togo as a tourist, you will have to be extremely brave to visit this market. In fact, after visiting the market, you'd better get some psychological help. Here's the weird part. In fact, strange to us, it is a belief for Togolese voodooists. According to local beliefs, the animals' dry heads protect them from bad luck. In fact, all the magical materials sold in this market are sold to convince spirits to help. So we think they don't want to do any harm to anyone. You've probably heard of voodoo dolls. In voodoo culture, these dolls are often shown in movies. Voodoo dolls are also used for magic. Please don't try this. A Togolese told an interesting story about a spell made with voodoo dolls. Please don't try it yourself. The sorcerer, who connects the voodoo doll and the person to be bewitched with his supernatural powers, casts a spell by touching the voodoo doll or binding its hands. According to the belief, the baby whose hands are tied turns all the affairs of the bewitched person upside down. That person, according to the belief, goes bankrupt, fights with everyone. By the way, it is said that the body parts of the person to be bewitched can also be added to the baby's structure to strengthen the spell. By the way, what we are telling you may sound absurd, you may even say it is impossible, but voodoo sorcerers, both male and female, are highly respected by the locals. Jews, Muslims, and Christians have forbidden magic. In shamanism, magic is identified with religion and belief. In some beliefs, substances such as the bark left by the snake, clove grass, or vinegar left by the snake are used to protect against magic. Voodoo magic is used in almost every country in the world. In some areas this magic is not only practiced with voodoo dolls. Voodoo sorcerers can also use certain items to cast voodoo spells. This is especially useful if the person to be cast the spell has belongings, it works more. But in the world, voodoo magic is commonly performed on toy puppets. In South Africa, voodoo is only used to make people unhappy. So when you go to South Africa, someone wants your unhappiness, they can cast voodoo spells on you. This is entirely related to the beliefs of this land. Magic is forbidden, as we recall, in the celestial religions. In different parts of the world, wizards are not punished. It's hard to believe, but wizards are even more respected. From the Middle Ages to the present, this magic business is coming uninterrupted. Wizards divide the types of magic into three: short-term spells, long-term spells, and lifetime effective spells. In order to do this, the magician had to know the job very well, and the energy field had to be many times more advanced than estimates. Thousands of years ago, there were also magicians in Babylon, Egypt, and Assyria. They especially used their abilities to see into the future. We ended this section with a short visit to the magicians who are believed to have superhuman powers and the markets selling magical materials in Togo. Today we are going to visit the most dangerous places in the world. Our first stop on our trip to the most dangerous places in the world is Hell Gate, Turkmenistan. As a tourist, we wonder who would want to visit this place. Russian scientific experts found this place by chance in 1971 while searching for natural gas in Turkmenistan. Please look carefully at the footage. This place is called Hell's Gate. Methane gas comes out of the well called Hell's Gate, which has a diameter of 70 meters. The other name of the Hell Gate, which is a danger to the environment, is Derviz Pit. If you go as a tourist to the Karakum Desert, to the town of Derviz, please keep your eyes open. You can fall into this pit, located near the town of Derviz, in an instant. The Hell Gate has been on fire for years due to the methane gas it contains. In the 1970s, it was thought that the flames would go out after a while at Hell's Gate, which was accidentally found by experts searching for natural gas, but this pit has been burning for decades. Although the pit may seem deadly, in 2013, George Couronnes, a Canadian explorer of the National Geographic Channel, became the first person to enter this pit. But the Canadian explorer got out of the pit and he not died. When he landed in the pit, the explorer, who saw that there were thousands of small fireballs, was almost fascinated by the image. The Canadian explorer told about a sound inside the pit that sounded like a jet engine, and there was no gas cloud or smoke-like mass inside. The Canadian explorer, who got out of the Hell Gate, where no living thing lived, unharmed, could not come to himself for a few days due to the effect of what he had experienced. Our next stop is Death Road, Bolivia. It is a fairly low-risk situation if you fall and die while walking on the road. If you are looking at your cell phone and you don't see a big pothole or a pole in front of you, nothing will happen to you. But on the Death Road in Bolivia, which was declared the most dangerous road in the world in 1995, 300 tourists fall and die every year, even if they are not looking at their mobile phone in their hand. The Road of Death is called Yungas Road in the records. The width of the road is only 3 meters. You've got to be as skilled as a walker when you're down this road with no barriers or scarecrows on the side. This road is often used as a track by cyclists who want to experience particular passion for adventure. This is, of course, not a very good request. To reach the Death Road, located 56 kilometers northeast of La Paz, Bolivia, you need to climb to the height of 4,650 meters located at the La Cumbre Pass when leaving La Paz. Those of you who are afraid of heights, please take care of this place. The road is so narrow that sometimes it is too narrow for 2 wheels to pass at the same time. To complete the 64-kilometer-long Death Road without dying, you need to be a master driver and get lucky. Would you like to have the pleasure of driving along this road? Next stop is Death Valley, America. According to experts, Death Valley is a valley with the highest natural temperature on Earth. Guess how high do you think this temperature could be? Yes, the highest natural temperature recorded in this valley is 56.5 degrees. You literally feel like you're in a furnace. The valley is 7,800 square kilometers in size. In this valley you can only survive 14 hours without water. If you don't have clothes to protect you from the heat and enough water, you will lose your life here. We're in a country where the world's proudest people live. Our next stop is Suicide Forest, Japan. There are frequent cases of suicide in the country of 126 million people. Harakiri, the samurai choice of death, is also a form of suicide. But we will be watching closely the suicides that took place in this strange forest, not in the cities of Japan. This is the Aokigahara Forest at the foot of Mount Fuji. Another name for this forest is the Suicide Forest. In 35 square kilometers of forest, trees are so dense that they block the wind. Giant lava pores formed by lava spewing from the Fuji volcano absorb the surrounding noise. This is causing the forest turn to literally silence of death. The forest, which seems to be a natural wonder, is associated with non-human beings in Japanese mythology. We advise you not to go into these woods as tourists. Despite the Japanese government's strict measures, suicides continue to occur in the secluded forest. Because of the dense trees, it is impossible for anyone else to find or see you here. The Japanese, who never had a solution and thought of suicide, often come here to end their lives. According to official Japanese government records, 75 bodies were found in the suicide forest in 2002, 103 in 2003 and 108 in 2004. In 2010, 247 people committed suicide in the forest and 54 people made unsuccessful suicide attempts. As of 2011, the most common forms of suicide in the forest were to take overdose drug and hanging yourself. Suicides are most common in March, when Japan's fiscal year ends. A lot of Japanese people in economic hardship can't take pride in this situation and come here to commit suicide. Are you afraid of lies or snakes? Next stop is Snake Island, Brazil. Entry to this island is forbidden by the Brazilian government. There are an average of 5 venomous snakes per square meter on this island. If you come in here, there's no chance you'll survive. The island of Queimada Grande, located 145 kilometers off the coast of São Paulo in Brazil, may look like a very wonderful holiday island from afar. But it is forbidden to enter here, not for a vacation, not even for a minute, because about 4,000 golden spear-headed viper snakes, one of the most venomous snake species in the world, live on this island. If you are bitten by a spearhead viper snake and do not receive any medical attention, you will die in about an hour. There is a chilling story in written sources. Legend has it that a fisherman went to Snake Island to pick bananas. The fisherman, not realizing the danger of snakes, was attacked by a snake while picking bananas. 2 days later, the story of the fisherman, who was found dead in a pool of blood, spread all over the country. Despite the fisherman's gruesome death, a lighthouse keeper and his family started to live on the island from 1909 to 1920. However, another myth is that this family was killed by an attack from killer snakes entering the window that was left open in their home. According to the belief, pirates who robbed ships passing through here decades ago left hundreds of snakes on this island to safely store the loot they stole. No one could enter the island and take the gold, but here's what we're wondering. So, how did the pirates get that gold from the snakes? Please write your ideas in the comments section. Those who don't like the heat, watch carefully. Our next stop is Danakil Desert, Eritrea. In this desert, it is rare to find people who can tolerate temperatures of around 50 degrees Celsius. This desert, located in Africa, is called Hell on Earth. It's a desert of deadly heat, yet it attracts tourists. Unless you have an experienced guide with you, you are never allowed to visit this desert. So, even if you are a madman, you have to have a guide with you. Next stop is Bikini Atoll, Marshall Islands. Do you look at photos of your destination before you go on vacation? Look, such a beautiful sight gives everyone peace of mind, doesn't it? Bikini Atoll, a deep atoll consisting of 23 islands in Coconut Land, gives the impression that it is an idyllic island hidden in the ocean, but this island, which has hosted many radioactive and nuclear experiments, is no longer habitable. When you set foot on this island, the radiation level is so high that you can get cancer at any time. Therefore, don't let its appearance fool you. However, nevertheless, before you go on vacation, check whether the places where you look at the photos are suitable for health conditions. Our next stop is the Blue Pit, Belize. You are watching another magnificent sight. This is the Big Blue Pit in Belize. When you look at it from the air, you see a large, dark blue, perfectly round circle in the middle of the ocean. Located a little off the coast of Belize and with clear water, the Great Blue Hole is considered by many to be one of the best diving spots in the world. With a diameter of about 984 feet and a depth of about 407 feet, the Big Blue Pit is considered part of the Belize Barrier Reef Reserve System. If you are not a master diver, disaster can strike you at any time, as it has happened to divers who have been hit in this pit before. The pit, which has a circular shape with a diameter of 300 meters and a depth of 124 meters, is quite dangerous. Next stop is Sinabung Volcano, Indonesia. This volcano threatens the lives of hundreds of thousands of people. The Sinabung volcano, located in Indonesia, erupts almost every year, spreading death through its surrounding settlements due to the gases it emits. The last time Sinabung volcano erupted, it caused earthquakes in many countries, including Indonesia and Thailand. When Sinabung volcano erupts, its ash and smoke rise up to 7,000 meters. After each explosion, people living in the area are forced to wear masks against the ash rain. Even though there is no pandemic period, you always have to carry a mask with you here. What do you think about these places? We look forward to your comments. If you like our video, please subscribe and support our channel. See you in the next video.